Yeah, so I don't like to collimate as much, and I don't want to put wheels and make this all higher. So I just carry it, but I'll leave the truss tube. I know that this is the front. It's got my Velcro for my phone, but and I'm 6 foot, and this thing is, or I'm 6'1". So, and then go like that, and we go outside. Let me see if I can get this cool transition. You can tell how bright it is, obviously. But it says, bam. There she is. Alright, so now I gotta hold my hand here. Move it. Okay. Ooh. So I've got this kind of dialed in. Let me see. I can get a little bit more clarity. But, oop. Get back over here, man. Let's go to the bottom of it. Yeah. Look at that. Let me see here. Ooh, wait a minute. Back up. Yeah, let me. That's nice. Let me get the edges. It's always my favorite part is the edges because you get such different light composition. There we go. So long as you can hold it still. Alright. Let me try this again. There we go. And yeah, I'm using the 26 millimeter. So let's utilize that more and try to get more. Okay. So now the moon should just seem to move pretty slow because it's moving up and at an arc. I just pushed it down some, so let's come up. There we go. Sorry. There we go. Move. Yeah, sorry, it's going down because the whole reverse thing. My bad. But let's get this side of it some. Do we want to try to zoom in on the Tyco? Whoa, not that much. Back up. Look at there. Oh, come on. Focus lock that baby. This phone plus the mount is heavy on the eyepiece. That's why when I let it go, it jolts down. But I'm gonna try to get it a nice long. There we go. Refocus that there. And then another thing I find interesting, when you set autofocus, this will let you know that the moon is round and everything else. Like when you set autofocus like I just did on the Tycho crater, as it goes further to the edge of the moon, the rest of it goes out of focus. You see? If it was all flat, everything would stay in focus. So we don't have this flat earth, because autofocus would stay focused on the same plane. Just like, look, okay, I'm locked in focus right now on the Tycho crater. I hope I'm getting that right. But if I pan across, everything within that region is going to be in focus. But look at everything underneath it until I move that into my focal range. And see, even that, since it's slightly to the right of this sphere, it's slightly distorted. But everything within this plane of that sphere is within focus. Well, except for maybe down there and up there. But you get it, right? I just think that's funny. I'm going to go down here around the Sea of Tranquility and focus on the right side there. And then, I guess I can switch to 34, 36 millimeter just to get the full moon in frame. It's pretty close, and it'll actually be closer by the end of the night to being fully in frame. Yeah, look at there. Let's see. I'll just leave autofocus to run on its own because the picture's so clear. So that's why it's so important to me to have like a super clean mirror with no fuzzies or no dust, because then when you're looking at stuff like this, you're not going to wonder, like, could I see it any clearer because of my mirror? No, right now, I know my next step is going to be my secondary mirror, which is apparently at like a 118 or 120 on that ratio for the secondary, and it could be a little bit better, and I want a better focuser knob that allows me to make smaller increments with smaller amount of input. And then the last thing would be a coma corrector tube that basically goes on the inside of my tube for my lens, and that would slightly change my f ratio from an f5 to like a high f4. So, but this, you can't complain, and I'll be the first to tell you, and it's sad that what you're seeing right now on the phone isn't anywhere near as clear and detailed as we can see with our eyes, because my phone just cannot process all of the pixels going on right now unless I stack all of this. But in case you haven't been able to tell, I'm a simpleton. When things get too complicated, it starts messing with your joy about it. Like, I like the code. I would rather train this thing to track and then work on adding imagery, because I like the way things work rather than overcomplicating it right away. See, so like I was saying before, when the moon was down lower on the horizon, it was stretched pretty far out of the screen. Now you can see I can pretty much get it in the screen, and it's still only a few inches above the horizon. So let's just watch for a while I smoke this jeter that's rolled in some other stuff, and yeah. Now I'm gonna tap on different areas. Oh, look at the bottom there. Oh yeah. Lock on it. Then we're gonna track that for a minute.
Okay. Woo. Let's go that way. Woo. Are they running drills tonight, or what's going on? It's like tonight they're wanting to run all across the paths of all nights. But anyhow, alright, here's what we're gonna do. Okay, sorry about that. We're gonna see how much we can zoom in to this crater. Ooh, easy. This is complicated because, alright, let me tell you what I got. I got my knee under my truss tube, which is raising it up and down, and my hand is pushing it back down. My right hand on the focuser knob of the telescope. My left hand is for my phone because I have it on Pro Video, so I can tap there in that Tycho crater and lock it until I zoom in with my focuser knob on my telescope, and that adjusts even more. So now I'll release my auto lock and I'll inch in by tapping on the plus sign. Okay, so now I'm going to do 2. This is where it gets, because mind you, it's moving, so you're going to focus best you can. Boom. Let's see if we can get a little better. No. We're about maxed out right there. But you can see the atmosphere. Look at how much is that stuff that looks like it's floating through the air. It's atmosphere that I'm having to see through. So that's why they ended up sending a Hubble. So, yeah, those waves, that's atmosphere. It's pretty cool, actually, but what's actually even cooler is, like, I don't know the measurements of this, but we were really close. And you can, like, literally see the striations from hits. Okay, now let's go over to one of my more favorite spots, because I think there's a lot going on here, and it's down here on the edge. Zoom in, see if I can clarify the edge. No. The lighting, so that's what's unique about this spot, is the lighting has to be right. meaning it can't be a full moon. It's usually like a half to a quarter. You see so much more along this edge. Let's see here. Yeah. I mean, that's what you deal with a full moon too, is you got more light trying to refract through the atmosphere. So if it's a half a moon, there's nowhere near as much light trying to make its way through. But she is an amazing piece of history.